It is 6 minutes past the hour. Welcome into the Rick and Bubba Show. It is a brand new week, and we thank all of you for being with us. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. The guys are all here, full staff today, and we are excited to have you with us. Don't forget that number, 866-WE-BE-BIG. You can also text that line, 866-932-3244. Boy, a lot to talk about. Get updated, all the individual stories of what everybody did over Labor Day weekend. Of course, sports is a big topic, entertainment news. And we got to get Greg Burgess in here right now and just get this thing started. Boy. What's up, big guy? How are you?
Hey, man. Boy, my email's just blown up.
I wonder why, Greg. Let's just get it. I mean, let's just dive in.
Well, I'm a big fan of the 1,000-pound sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And Amy sent me a message the other week.
She did.
About my dog breeding business.
Right.
And, boy, that was a good one. You never did see it, did you?
No, yeah, we finally played it.
Did we?
Yeah, we finally played it with her purple. There was so much there.
God forbid her, start over when she messed up. Anyway, so Amy had a bad Labor Day, according to this. She was arrested at a Tennessee safari park. Now, here's what's confusing. If you read this, Amy Slayton of TLC's 1,000-Pound Sisters was arrested at a Tennessee safari park, which is funny enough, on Labor Day after a camel bite reportedly, led to a drug bust inside her vehicle. Now, what's not
camel bite?
But they're not saying if she was bit. And let me ask you this: no matter who was bit, why would you call the sheriff? Right. What's the sheriff? Maybe you want to call a paramedic to maybe see if you got an infection or something. I don't know. It's very vague. There's not a lot of details. But
wait a minute. So she was bit by a camel.
So when they came, I don't know if she was bit or someone else was bit. But when the sheriff arrived, let me see. When they walked by her vehicle, they said they could smell. It must be drugs or something. And they said there was a weird smell coming from it, which who knows? That's scary to think. And they were immediately overtaken by suspicious odors, is what they call it, coming from the car, which sat her and some guy, Brian Scott Lovern, and her 2 children. Okay, so they did not identify who was bitten or disclose the extent of any injuries.
Good night.
Amy and her boyfriend face charges of Schedule 1 and Schedule 5 substance possession, 2 counts of child endangerment. Both are being held at the Crockett County Jail. No bond or hearing information is available. So the confusing part, here's the bottom line. Tammy, under suspicion of drug use. Right. So, of course, you got your 2 kids with you. That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
But the sheriffs arrived because someone was bit by a camel. Not sure. It may have been Tammy. I mean, Amy. Tammy's her sister. I'm not sure. The article is very vague on who. It even says they did not disclose the extent of the injuries or identify who was bitten by the camel that led to their drug arrest. So if somebody don't get bit by the camel, I guess they're.
I guess not, but I guess you're right because
it doesn't say who got bit by the camel.
No, I mean it is.
In my mind,
kind of vague.
It was Amy, but.
Because it's this line right here, to your point, or 2 actually. And you've said it, but I'm just going to read it again. It says, deputies were requested to respond to the safari park. Yeah. Picture that, by the way, just that in mind.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where a guest, that would be her, was allegedly bitten by a camel. That right there in itself is bizarre.
Yeah, again, I go back to my question. Okay, we got a person bit by a camel. Why are we calling the sheriff?
Yeah, maybe there.
What are they gonna
obviously
do about
there was a
Accident
disturbance,
report?
or there. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I don't know.
Like maybe
when they arrived, and you said it, but I'm just reading it again. They were immediately overtaken by suspicious odors coming from the guest's vehicle. Yeah. So it was so bad. The odor was so bad.
So
and there's some jokes there
with my kids, and I'm out there doing drugs.
As the search of the vehicle took place, Amy and Brian were arrested.
Yes, and that's where they currently are. The kids, I'm sure, were taking
picture. And look, I know I've talked about this. You police officers.
So I got my 2 kids with me, and I'm out here doing dope at a safari park.
There's so many stories here. You police officers, and we've talked about it. Thank you so much for what you do. But the stories that y'all bring home. And I know some of you try not to bring those home, but just if you're just talking with friends at a cookout with your legs up, enjoying a fire, just kind of chilling out, and you go, I arrested 1,000-pound sister Amy.
Yeah, you ain't gonna believe it.
I mean, just trying to reason that. She got. Let me start with the fact she was at a little safari and she got bit by a camel. I mean, you could stop there and have a story.
In my mind, until they tell me different, I'm gonna claim she was bit by the camel. I'm going that route.
Yeah,
they don't say that in the article, but in my mind, she was bit by the camel because they were probably over there talking to her by her vehicle, which is reeking of suspicious smells.
Yes,
we can, definitely,
Wow, there's a lot there.
Wow. Well, I hope I don't.
Now
mess up. I hope I don't mess up next season.
And I hate it for Amy. I really do, because she's been outspoken about her alcohol struggles, so I don't know. I don't know what all's involved here. All we know is what the story says.
Yeah.
And it's but now she's lost about 500 of the 1,000, or not. I mean, no, wait. Together they're 1,000.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Because now they're not even close to that, because Tammy, Amy had lost a good bit.
Yeah. Tammy has said that she's lost 500 pounds.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yes.
Who's on first? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. But Amy's always been the smaller of the two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just getting I'm getting my sisters in line.
I'll tell you, I hope they're filming the show when this happens. I don't believe they are, obviously.
Are you kidding?
Boy, it'd be something if they were.
Well, look, I mean, if they sit there and say, look, they had illegal substances, and they possessed them, and then they have 2 counts of child endangerment, which, I mean, good night. Yes, you got your kids with you doing all that? Come on, man.
Come on, Amy.
Good night. Hey, her mugshot's great.
Yeah, she's looking good.
Hey, look over here. You know what I mean?
She looks like she's been bit by a camel.
Yeah. It looks like in this mugshot somebody got her attention to her left and she looked over to the left.
It's something going on over there.
I don't know what that is.
How about that?
Wow. And he looks good too, Brian.
Yeah, they're quite a pair. This sounds a lot like Mama June. You remember she had a very similar experience. She had a boyfriend. They got arrested for drugs.
Right.
What is it about overweight reality TV stars and boyfriends and drugs?
I don't know.
I mean, there seems to be a pattern. Maybe my beard made me eat it. There seems to be a pattern here. I don't know.
I mean, in this story, there's about 6 different things that could just be the story, but you add them all up together, and it is bizarre.
I mean, it's got a camel bite. It's got child endangerment, which is terrible.
Right.
It's got a stink car with drug smells coming out of it, whatever.
Right. So, I guess they had to put the seat back in there because Amy never had to take it out. That was Tammy.
Tammy, you had
to take the seat out. Because, I mean, if the kids are in there safely, you got to figure out where to put them. You can't take all the seats out.
But, just a day at the safari park going bad.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to have a good Labor Day.
They did. Somebody came up with the idea, let's go to the safari park.
Yeah, why toe up?
Golly.
Anyway, so look, I know y'all, and I appreciate y'all giving me a heads up on it, but we got it.
Hey, and I'll say this too. Did the safari park really push for the sheriff to come because they were upset? Or if I've got all that in my car and I've been bit by a camel, I'm just going to kind of whimper and go, hey, guys, let's get out of here. We can't call everybody. Look what we got in the car.
Did she go crazy after she got bit?
I know.
Get the law?
Rick and Bubba.
An absolute must-have this fall, Raycon's best-selling everyday earbuds, especially since they now feature active ergonomic design, multi-point connectivity, and active noise cancellation. They're available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement all skin tones, and the quality on these guys rivals some of the biggest names in premium audio. Right now, you'll get 20 to 40% off site-wide when you go to buyraycon.com/bigbox. That's right. You'll get up to 40% off everything. Can't pay the IRS, receiving threatening letters. It's about to get worse. The IRS is hiring an army of agents targeting hardworking Americans like you. You need Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA has brilliant strategies to solve your IRS problems quickly and in your favor. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debts and offer a best-in-class guarantee. Schedule your free consultation and call 1-800-245-6000. That's 1-800-245-6000 or go to tnusa.com/bigbox. Have you heard heard of cancer-fighting foods? The American Cancer Society discovered diets rich in fruits and veggies may actually lower your risk of cancer. You should considering doing what I do, and that's add Field of Greens to your daily health regimen. Each fruit and veggie in Field of Greens was doctor-selected for studied health benefits. Get 15% off and free rush shipping at fieldofgreens.com and use the new promo code BIGVOX. That's BIG, V as in voice, OX, to get your discount. In just a few short weeks, Americans will head to the polls with critical issues at stake. It can feel overwhelming, so why not align with a company that stands for the values of its members? That's why we stand with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. For just $1 at amac.us/bigbox, you can get all kinds of benefits, retirement planning, and discounts, and AMAC card-carrying members get savings on travel, roadside service, and an array of other cost savings. All you got to do is go to amac.us/bigbox. Although fall is coming, the weather's still great for outdoor fun right now. What's your favorite activity? Golfing, maybe boating, tennis? Ask 100 people, you get 100 answers. If everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, check out Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Give it a try at relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's the number 4 to save on your first order. Tell them that Rick sent you, or head to rickandbubba.com for a link under sponsors. Our friends at TheraBreath have some good news if you have bad breath. Try TheraBreath Fresh Breath Oral Rinse. TheraBreath is dentist formulated by Dr. Katz himself. TheraBreath doesn't mask bad breath like those burning alcohol mouthwashes that can actually irritate sensitive mouths. It's alcohol-free and free of gluten with no added dyes or colors. Find TheraBreath in all your favorite retail and drug stores. Look for the bright orange cap or online at TheraBreath.com. You can find a direct link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. TheraBreath, confidence in every capful.
Oh, look, honey, the ants are back.
Wow. We leave one itsy-bitsy speck of food out, and they appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to believe we used to try to get rid of these guys. Now they're just part of the family.
To be honest, I liked our family the way it was before they came.
I guess it's time to call Cooks.
You don't have to live with pests. Get proven protection from Cook's Pest Control. Call or go online for a free quote.
Cook's Pest Control.
If your spine needs some extra TLC, then you need a Helix Sleep mattress from helixsleep.com/bigbox. Each Helix mattress is designed for a specific sleep position and comfort preference. With 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe Collection, and a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, you'll find one that's right for you. And Helix lets you try it out for 100 nights. Take the 2-minute Helix Sleep Quiz to get matched with the perfect mattress. Head to helixsleep.com/bigbox to save 25% off your mattress order. Or visit rickandbubba.com. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Can't pay the IRS, receiving threatening letters, it's about to get worse. The IRS is hiring an army of agents targeting hardworking Americans like you. You need Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA has brilliant strategies to solve your IRS problems quickly and in your favor. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debts and offer a best-in-class guarantee. Schedule your free consultation and call 1-800-245-6000. That's 1-800-245-6000 or go to tnusa.com/bigbox. All right, picture this. A stranger with a crowbar pries open a window, a fire breaks out in the kitchen, and moments like these, every second counts. That's why you need Simply Safe Home Security. With Simply Safe 24/7 monitoring agents act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm, assessing the situation, and sending emergency responders. Visit simplysafe.com/bigbox to save 20% on a new system today. That's simplysafe.com/bigbox and save 20% on your new system. There's also a link at rickandbubba.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Pass the gravy, please. Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba. Ooh, it brings me to my knees. Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba. I can't start another. Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba. Day without a
All right, 20 minutes past the hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, just so you know, we have discussed, if you're just joining us, you can stop emailing us. We know that 1,000-pound sister, Amy, has been arrested at a West Tennessee safari park. We got that. There's a camel involved.
Somebody got bit.
Illegal substances. We got good night. And so we know that, and we have discussed that. And let's just get this other one off the table. Look, I know there's sports and There was a lot going on, but Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi,
that's right,
had their eat off, their hot dog eating competition that was on Netflix, and you were in charge because none of us can watch it because we're so grossed out by it.
Well, you would have been grossed out.
You were in charge of giving us updates, and you did text the staff. I'll give you this and say, hey, Chestnut beat Kobayashi, wasn't even close, and he set a new world record of 83 hot dogs to win.
Yeah, and
that's insane.
So I'm sitting there, and I forgot yesterday. I went, oh, man.
Come on, Greg.
I said, but I didn't see it live.
Yeah.
But, all day you could click on it and watch it.
Yeah.
So about yesterday afternoon, all of a sudden I said, I'm gonna watch. Of course, they had a bunch of prelim stuff, and I fast forward through that. They had there's all kinds of eaters out there. This one girl set a record on eating the most watermelon in 3 minutes.
Oh, so it's kind of like a boxing match.
Yeah,
okay.
They had all kinds of little different things.
Really,
going on.
you could do
it.
Yeah.
And Rob Riggle, that actor, he was the host.
Okay.
And but anyway, so one thing I do like, and when I was listening at the beginning, they go, "Hey, under the rules, you can't dip the buns in the water."
Whoa.
And they were like, "Uh-oh." So they had to eat them like hot dogs. You remember how I've been complaining?
Oh, wow.
I hated they ate the bread and then the dog.
Yeah.
Well, they ate these as full dogs.
Are you
and
kidding
to
me?
be honest, Joey Chestnut said afterward, he said, when I heard we couldn't dip, I was a little concerned. He said, but I'll be honest, I kind of, he set a record. He said, I kind of like it. He said, I'll probably use this technique again.
Could they chase it with water?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They just couldn't.
Oh,
you just couldn't
boy,
dip.
could they.
Okay.
But you couldn't take the bun out and dip the bun, eat it, and then eat the hot dog wiener. You had to. They ate them bun and like I've been saying. I've said this whole time that if you're going to have a hot dog eating contest, you need to eat it like a hot dog.
Yeah.
And they did. And it was as gross as ever. At one point, Kobayashi had snot just coming out of his nose.
And you watched it?
It was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie.
But you leaned in.
Well, I had to report to the show because we'd been talking.
Well,
about it.
thank you.
I told Lisa that. I said, look, I know you don't want to watch this. But I've got to watch this because I got to give a report.
It's my job.
It is. And that Chestnut guy's like a machine.
Golly.
He came out of the gate. He was a three hot dog lead right out of the gate and then just kept going. But I think Kobayashi beat his own personal record.
Yeah, because didn't you say 67 or something?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but it was a landslide victory.
Yeah,
Chestnut ate 83. And let me go back down
67
here.
for Kobayashi.
67. I thought so.
Yeah.
How about the 16-time Nathan's hot dog eating champ?
Yeah.
Won and good.
He won $100,000. I'm sure they paid him something else just to be there, but the winner got $100,000.
All right, so let's break this down. In 10 minutes, he ate 83 hot dogs.
How does your body not something? How does your stomach hold that?
I don't know. Can I ask you some questions? And I apologize if this is going to gross the audience out.
We've covered this on the show. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how you can physically do that and not die.
Yeah. So no, they couldn't dip.
It's like 4 pounds of meat inside you. That's what somebody said. That's a lot.
It is.
How's your stomach not rip open?
So
how can you digest that?
So many questions.
How?
Golly.
He's got a weird look about him. I guess all these years of doing that.
Yeah.
He got a weird mouth.
All right, so here we go. So they couldn't dip the bun and the weenie, the hot dog, guys. Can we just say that?
They would take a bite and drink water, take a bite.
You don't have to play it out. I got it.
It was nasty.
Okay. You don't have no visuals.
Like I said, at one point I saw somebody help Kobayashi out right there. Like when a little kid walks by and you go, somebody get that.
Yeah.
You got snot on your face.
All right, but we did have water beside them, and so they would.
Everywhere.
So let me ask you a question. So when they took a bite of a dry hot dog, or just a regular hot dog, the weenie's in the bun. They couldn't separate the two. Correct?
That's right.
They couldn't go weenie bun.
They could have, but they didn't. They couldn't dip the bun.
Okay, but the weenie had to be in the bun.
Well, that's the way they did it. I don't know if that.
Well, I'm sure that's the case because you have a weenie over here and a bun here, and then you're going back. You can't do that. So. Sorry for that visual, but that's the only way I could do that.
But they were eating them like I've been saying all these years. If you're going to eat hot dog, eat hot dog.
Right.
And
so
they did it.
But as soon as they took a bite, they could chase it with water.
Yeah.
They just couldn't do it prior to going.
Had water all over them.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yeah, just all down their shirt.
But okay, they just couldn't.
They weren't drinking a lot of it. Most of it was flying out of their mouth.
Right.
Just kind of trying to help the hot dog. But it was funny because they did all this coverage. They talk about there's techniques and being able to bite and swallow at the same time is a key.
Okay. It seems like you would want to chew it up a little bit because if you don't chew it up, then when you swallow, it's just bigger in your stomach.
I know. How do they not? How do they?
How's your stomach? How
do you not choke? Because hot dogs are bad. I mean, people choke on a hot dog in a minute.
Oh yeah, especially the dry bun. So they chase. So I bet you, do they every time they? Well, how do you eat 83 in 10 minutes? I mean, you have to put the whole thing in your mouth and then chase it.
Yeah.
They couldn't bite it in half or something.
Not really.
I would be over there biting it 10 times.
They're just shoving it in their mouth.
I mean, I know you eat fast because I've had lunch with you.
But not like that.
I mean, and you know, if
Lisa said that when they said he won 100,000, she goes, "You need to try that."
Well, because
I said,
look,
"Wait," she goes, "You eat fast." I said, "I tried to eat that burger from Mugshots and couldn't do it."
Yeah. Well, if you have lunch with the Burgess, you better get serious about eating because about your third bite, the Burgesses are going to have an empty plate.
Yeah, I hate that too. I would like to enjoy it more.
Right. And then, like a dog, you stare at me eating like you want mine. That's just the way you are.
Yeah,
you
Lisa gets on to me.
Yeah, you like look at the plate of who you're with. Like, what do you want mine?
See,
too?
Lisa never finishes hers, so I'm just waiting on the moment where she slides it towards me, and I go, "Okay, thanks." But no, I will say this. Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
well, the text coming
that's
in.
funny. But
easy, y'all. Easy.
I will say this: it was as gross as it's ever been. Maybe worse.
Good night. All right. This is it. And this is my last day. Look, we're updating you, and on behalf of the show, I want to thank you.
I'd like to see Kobayashi work on some English. I mean, he speaks no English.
Well, he's done. Didn't he say this was it?
I think so. I think he's retired.
Give me the setup, if you don't mind. Could you, what's the setting? Are they facing each other eating?
Side
Are they
by side. It's indoor.
It's
so
indoor.
You picture
we have music in the background, or are we just hearing them eat?
No, they're just hollering it out and stuff. Yeah,
okay.
Just commentators are commentating the whole time. Oh, he's up to 67. He's
who? Okay.
Yeah, Wriggle and some other guy.
Okay, I was going to ask who was with him.
And
okay. So it's just it's an empty room. Or they outside?
Crowds.
Oh, okay.
But it's inside. It's not like Nathan's where it's outside. And it's obviously not as big a crowd inside, but it's crowds. A lot of Kobayashi's family, they were devastated.
I'm picturing like professional bowling, how it's a condensed area, and it's like small, just a small crowd.
It was a stage with two people on it. You know, you're used to the huge stage because you got like 10 people eating hot dogs. This is just two guys. Yeah. So it was a small stage, indoors, good signage and done up lights, and all that. They introduced them. They come out the tunnel, and all this stuff.
All right, so when it's over, do they interview both of them?
Oh yeah, well not Kobayashi because he said a couple words through his translator, but I mean he ain't
that was it. But how do they talk? I wouldn't be looking like
he was just carrying on. You know?
Are you serious? And he's got 83 hot dogs in him.
Yeah,
while he's doing that.
Oh yeah.
Golly,
how
in the world do you do that?
That can you bottle? How's he?
And what in the rule? In the rule, you can't like relieve yourself right there. I mean, trying to do that.
Golly, y'all.
So if you had an accident, I'm just going to say it that way.
You get penalized.
Yeah. How many dogs?
You do get penalized. Like if it comes, some of it comes up like 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
Yeah, there were no. They didn't get any penalties.
Okay,
there are penalties.
Okay, like in CrossFit, that would be no rep.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
Right.
You can get a penalty.
Sorry about that, y'all. But Greg was.
No, it was as gross as it's
yeah, and I apologize for some of you trying to eat and think
that
about
woman eating that watermelon was. But they already had took the rind off of it. It was just the meat of the watermelon.
How do you watch that?
It ain't easy.
Rick and Bubba.
In just a few short weeks, Americans will head to the polls with critical issues at stake. It can feel overwhelming, so why not align with a company that stands for the values of its members? That's why we stand with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. For just $1 at amac.us/bigbox, you can get all kinds of benefits, retirement planning, and discounts, and AMAC card-carrying members get savings on travel, roadside service, and an array of other cost savings. All you got to do is go to amac.us/bigbox. Our friends at TheraBreath have some good news if you have bad breath. Try TheraBreath Fresh Breath Oral Rinse. TheraBreath is dentist formulated by Dr. Katz himself. TheraBreath doesn't mask bad breath like those burning alcohol mouthwashes that can actually irritate sensitive mouths. It's alcohol-free and free of gluten with no added dyes or colors. Find TheraBreath in all your favorite retail and drug stores. Look for the bright orange cap or online at TheraBreath.com. You can find a direct link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. TheraBreath, confidence in every capful. Whether it's back to school season or just the end of the summer, now's the time to be getting back into a routine with those items you're going to be using every day. An absolute must-have for me this fall, Raycon's best-selling everyday earbuds, especially since Raycon's everyday earbuds now feature active ergonomic design, multi-point connectivity that lets me pair with 2 devices at once, and active noise cancellation. They're available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. And that sounds good to me, but Raycon sounds even better because seriously, the quality of these guys rivals some of the biggest names in premium audio. So if you're not convinced, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee for easy return, so give them a try. Go to buyraycon.com/bigbox today and get 20 to 40% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 40% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/bigbox. That's buyraycon.com/bigbox.
Oh, look, honey, the ants are back.
Wow. We leave one itsy bitsy speck of food out and they appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to believe we used to try to get rid of these guys. Now they're just part of the family.
To be honest, I liked our family the way it was before they came.
I guess it's time to call Cooks.
You don't have to live with pests. Get proven protection from Cook's Pest Control. Call or go online for a free quote.
Cook's Pest Control.
You asked, and the folks at MyPillow have listened. They're finally bringing you their most requested offer. Get the queen-size premium MyPillow for only $19.98. MyPillows are made with a patented adjustable feel that will work for your needs regardless of sleep position. They help keep your neck aligned. That's not all. Get their 6-piece kitchen towel set and famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25. Go to mypillow.com/bigbox. That's BIGV as in voice OX. Use the code BIGBOX at rickandbubba.com. All right, so picture this. A stranger with a crowbar pries open a window. A fire breaks out in the kitchen. Deadly carbon monoxide leaks into your home at 2 a.m. In moments like these, every second counts. And that's why you need Simply Safe Home Security at simplysafe.com/bigvox. They have 24/7 monitoring agents who act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm, quickly assessing the situation, sending emergency responders to your door. With exclusive live guard technology, agents can even see and speak to the intruders in your home, warning that the police are on the way. With no long-term contracts or cancellation fees, Simply Safe earns your trust every day by keeping you safe and satisfied, but never locked in. So no wonder Simply Safe has become best home security system by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Join countless listeners who found peace of mind with Simply Safe. Visit simplysafe.com/bigbox. Save 20% today. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Have you heard of cancer-fighting foods? The American Cancer Society discovered diets rich in fruits and veggies may actually lower, you heard me right, lower your risk of cancer. Hopefully you hear this and run to the store for 5 servings of fruits and veggies every day. Probably not. Maybe you should consider doing what I do. That's add Field of Greens to your daily health regimen. Each fruit and veggie in Field of Greens was doctor selected for studied health benefits. There's a heart health group, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism groups, even healthy weight. What your body needs is in each scoop of that delicious Field of Greens. And will Field of Greens prevent, treat, or cure cancer? Well, of course not. But it's so powerful, it promises at your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health, or you get your money back. My doctor loves me doing this. So if you'd like to get 15% off and free rush shipping, go to fieldofgreens.com, use the new promo code BIGVOX. That's B-I-G and then V as in voice, O-X to get your discount. Or go to rickandbubba.com.
Rick and Bubba's in Ohio. Rick and Bubba. Pass the gravy, please. Rick and Bubba. Ooh, it brings me to my knees. Rick and Bubba. I can't start another. Rick and Bubba. Day without him, brother. Rick and Bubba.
25 minutes until top of the hour. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Rick and Bubba Show. as always, we appreciate your correspondence with the show, and a lot of you through the text line, 866-932-3244. That's the same number as 866 We Be Big, but if you are texting, it's easier to know those numbers. 866-932-3244. You can call or text that line, and those texts are coming in. And look, the first 30 minutes, there's a couple of things over the Labor Day weekend that happened outside of sports. One was the 1,000-pound sister. That was our number one email. Number one email, checking email about, did you hear about Amy getting arrested at a West Tennessee safari park? The other one,
which is weird,
as we went into the Labor Day weekend and hyped up, is that on Labor Day at 2 p.m. Central Time on Netflix, it was the much-anticipated Joey Chestnut Kobayashi hot dog eating contest.
Yep.
And we had assigned Greg as the staff member that is responsible for reporting back, so we did. So now that we're past that, last night, and it was really a college football fan's dream to start on Thursday and have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of college football. And some games you might not be interested in, but at least there were some primetime games available. And, we get off into the weekend and we're watching football and all this kind of stuff. NFL starts Thursday night. And so there was no, hey, what do I watch? NFL, it's just, hey, we're all in. And then last night, yesterday afternoon around 4:30, I was talking to Dad, and which, by the way, my parents celebrated 61 years of marriage, their anniversary.
Because my mom, it would have been my mom and dad.
And I thought about your mom a lot because we would always help remember it and remind each other of that. And I thought about her because on the anniversary day, I thought about Miss Burgess a lot. So we're talking yesterday, and he goes, hey, you don't forget Florida State, Boston College come on tonight. And I was like, oh, that's right. I was thinking for some reason, I thought it was just, I didn't think the game was that meaningful.
Boston College is one of those teams I don't watch for some reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't fire me up. So, there's
right.
Yeah.
Well, it just timed down that at 6:30, it's actually 6:38 to be honest with you. I decided, hey, I'm gonna sit down and throw it on real quick. Let's see if Florida State bounces back from their defeat in Dublin against Georgia Tech. So I flip it over to ESPN. I get this readout that says our contract with Disney, the owner of this channel, has expired. And I'm like, what? That's weird. But now you and I, and y'all can hate on us, but we're still the old-fashioned. We have either DirecTV or ATT-Uverse. Yeah. Okay, we hadn't officially cut the cord, even though we need to, and we've just talked about it, and we won't do it for some reason.
I'm just used to it.
Yeah,
and I know where my channels are.
Right,
and I do pay too much. I will admit that.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm confident and I have peace of mind.
That's right.
I know where all my games. I thought until this. Of course, this has happened in the past. It happened last year to one of the cable companies, the one Mom was on, because Mom loves to watch her football. And she was tore up about it.
Well, so then I look a little further, and I'm like, well, this is weird. So then I go, well, I'm going to go over to ESPN2, same thing. ESPN News, same thing. ESPNU, same thing. SEC Network, same readout.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll get around this. What's going on? So I pulled up ESPN Plus.
Yeah, I tried that too.
And so I'm going to go to ESPN Plus and just stream the game. Well, I go through and it says the same thing, because now you can have ESPN Plus, but for some reason they still want to know your cable provider. And because it's linked back to the ATT-Uverse, they said, hey, you can't, there's a readout that says if you're upset, contact so-and-so.
The timing on this is obvious.
So Walt Disney Company networks, including ESPN, and it says an ABC station, but by the ABC station that I have.
And we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, it wasn't interrupted.
So we have DirecTV here.
Yeah.
And you look, our ESPN channel's out. Our 3340 ABC channel, which is also owned by Disney, is still on.
Yeah.
And I watched the ball game, USC and LSU.
Yeah.
They'd done already blacked it out by then.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Channel.
See, I didn't even know that. I watched it on ABC as well. I was in and out, but at least I had it on. I didn't even know that. But anyway, apparently Walt Disney Company Networks and DirecTV, their negotiations, they collapsed on Sunday. And the blackout impacts about 11 million customer homes, they're saying, making matters worse for DirecTV subscribers. The blackout began immediately before USC's game against LSU, even though you and I both were able to watch it. Furthermore, the NFL season is set to begin this week, and ESPN is also carrying the ongoing U.S. Open from Queens, New York. So all of you tennis fans, I got the same thing on ESPN Plus. I was flipping through. I'm like, I'm gonna see what works. But then I went over to like the Boston Red Sox and the Mets, and it was available. It was it's kind of strange. Some things were available on ESPN. Anyway, in the aftermath of the blackout, both DirecTV and ESPN are blaming each other for the fiasco.
And that's the same thing. Was it Starlight? It was one of the cable providers last year. Same thing happened around this time. And I would like to see it taken care of. Or couldn't you go? Is there an SEC app?
Well, no. See, here's the problem you got is that any apps bring you back to who you're affiliated with. So, like that app that I tried to use with ESPN Plus, it was.
But see, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have ESPN on your package, like I do, we all do, then ESPN Plus is not. You don't get charged. You just have to show them who your provider is. But
okay, see,
if you go and start paying for it as say through your smart TV, you could do it that way.
Right now I have the ESPN, Hulu, and Disney bundle is what I have, and it's looking at it because everybody keeps going up in price. It's like ESPN Plus started at $6.99, then went it to $7.99, then it was $9.99. Well, they were offering a bundle that was just ridiculous. It was like $14.99, and you get all three. So I locked in at that just because you got, with River coming over, and there was some classic Disney cartoons and different things. So we was like, well, let's just have that. Yeah. So I actually log in like with email to those three, and Hulu and Disney, of course, work, but anything on ESPN Plus that was football related didn't after Sunday night. It's just weird. I don't know. So this impacts us. Like right now, we have a TV that's just black in here because the company has a DirecTV satellites on the roof, and that's kind of how everything's piped in here. So anyway, it's just weird. It's like I had to log in to show my subscription, and it shows, yes, you are logged in with your bundle. Yes. But then for some reason, it still wants to know your TV provider, which is weird. It's never done that.
When you're paying for it, see, the reason I got HBO, I get HBO Max for free because I have HBO. Of course, you can call it for free. You're paying for HBO. Right. On the other, and the same thing I thought was with ESPN Plus. Well, if you come around and start paying, see, I don't.
See, I pay. I can tell you right now, I pay, and I was impacted. Now, the AT&T thing is the HBO Max or whatever. You get that as a perk. But I never have had ESPN free just for being.
And even if you do like some of the other channels that are like if you want to watch Walking Dead, if you had it in your DirecTV, then your app you didn't get charged for it.
Yeah, and look here comes all the and I know. And look, we've admitted we're procrastinators when it comes to this, Greg, and we both should do this. All the YouTube TV and Hulu TV live thing. Here come the text, guys. Y'all need to move over. We know, and it's just on us because there's no reason I should have the ATT Uverse, okay, which I think they're phasing out anyway, but it's in the DirecTV family. And those of you that DirecTV stream too, if you use that version, it's messed up. I should not have that, and then 6 streaming services over here. I know, like Peacock and Amazon Prime and Paramount Plus and the ESPN bundle that I just talked. I shouldn't. It's stupid of me, and I need to switch over.
But I know where everything is.
I know.
Listen, because I'm gonna be honest, and I even tried to help her. Mom went from cable to streaming, and it's okay, but it's just confusing how to find your channels sometimes. I mean, can I just type a number in?
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so anyway, I tuned over to go to the game, and I couldn't go. Then I wake up this morning and I see that Boston College beat Florida State, and it didn't look close. The score it was
Florida State's having a rough start,
but let me tell you,
a lot of people expected big things from them.
I know. Mike Norvell addressed Florida State's failure after the loss. He said, "Man, it was 28-13, by the way." Monday night at home, and they said, look, nobody around the Seminole program expected this. An 0-2 start with issues across the board, and because you can kind of chalk the Dublin loss to Georgia Tech as, hey, man, we were traveling and everybody tried to make excuses.
Yeah.
But now this, I don't know. But he went to the press and he answered some questions. He said, I'm sick of how the season started, and I failed in preparing the team to go out and respond from Dublin. And so he said nobody envisioned that this would be our start, but here's where they are. But we missed it because we couldn't get it.
Did you see Brian Kelly in his press conference?
Brian Kelly's not happy. They got beat by USC.
The desk.
Yes, he was not happy.
No, he wasn't.
Saw that game. Felt like LSU should have won. How about LSU fans just show out, man?
Yeah,
Vegas was rocking.
Full.
Good night. God got so loud at times. Nobody could hear anything.
And it remains to be seen as the year goes on, but it appears that USC may be playing a little better defense than they normally do.
It does seem that way. There were two.
That was their downfall the past 2 years.
Yeah.
But
two games that I was dialed in as far as just environment and just excitement around the games were Texas A&M hosting Notre Dame. And, hey, Notre Dame went in and beat Texas A&M, but the 12th man was showing out, man. That place was packed, over 100,000 people.
There are a lot of people in Vegas.
In Vegas, LSU and USC, I think they set a record there in the stadium, in the new stadium.
Wow.
As far as attendance goes. I thought that Texas A&M and LSU would win those games.
I did
and they both got beat.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And Georgia just spanked Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
Good night.
Oh, yeah. First half was good.
Sabin on College Game Day, did you?
Yeah, he got a little fired up.
He did. We'll talk about it. We'll be right back.
Rick and Bubba.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code EXTRA or text EXTRA to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code EXTRA.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text EXTRA to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Message and data rates may apply. Paid for by Roundhouse Provisions.
And Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're gonna feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Fall's almost here, but weather is still beautiful. Still time to enjoy the outdoors. Everyone's got a favorite outdoor activity. Maybe it's golf, bike riding, boating, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have an answer. Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily 100% drug-free supplement developed by doctors that's been incredibly effective, even life-changing for so many people. It doesn't just mask pain. It helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that work together to help reduce or eliminate pain. In about 3 weeks, you'll know it's working because you feel the difference, whether it's the neck, the back, joint, muscle pain. Relief Factor can help. Give it a try and visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4 or go to ReliefFactor.com. Tell them Rick sent you or visit RickandBubba.com. Here's less missing out and more living life with Relief Factor. Whether it's back to school season or just the end of the summer, now's the time to be getting back into a routine with those items you're going to be using every day. An absolute must-have for me this fall, Raycon's best-selling everyday earbuds, especially since Raycon's everyday earbuds now feature active ergonomic design, multi-point connectivity that lets me pair with 2 devices at once, and active noise cancellation. They're available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. And that sounds good to me, but Raycon sounds even better because, seriously, the quality of these guys rivals some of the biggest names in premium audio. So if you're not convinced, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee for easy return, so give them a try. Go to buyraycon.com/bigbox today and get 20 to 40% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 40% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/bigbox. That's buyraycon.com/bigbox.
Pass the gravy, please. Rick and Bubba. Ooh, it brings me to my knees. Rick and Bubba. I can't start another. Rick and Bubba. Day without him, brother.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Rick and Bubba Show. It's the kickoff hour. I am Speedy. There is Greg. We have Rick, Bubba, Adler all joining us for the main show. And we're off and running here on the Rick and Bubba Show's kickoff hour. We thank you so much for hanging out with us. We have covered a lot. This portion of the program is brought to you by buyraycon.com/bigvox. Actually met a neighbor friend that lives kind of down the road a little bit and around a corner. And we see him out trying to do a little bit better, running and stuff like that. And I was outside, and, you know, if he's not running or if he stopped running, he's walking or whatever, sometimes we'll say, hey, or whatever. And he said, hey, tell me about these Raycons. You know, because he didn't have any earbuds in. And I'm like, oh, hey, check it out right now. Buyraycon.com/bigvox. That's BIGVOX. Everyday earbuds in the past, maybe you thought about, they're just a little too expensive. I don't know about this.
Speedy even bought these.
Right. But what if you had the same audio quality as expected from the big guys, but at half the price?
You say that's a good deal is what I would
That's
say.
a very good deal, and that's what I told him.
That's just me.
I'm like, hey, you need to get them because right now they're launching their new upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. This means that you get the features you know and love, like optimized gel tips for a cozy custom fit. And I know that was big for you when you're running because you said that some of the ones you had in the past, they would kind of bounce around in the ear a little bit.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them to pick from, and you get the one that fits you just right.
Yep. There you go. And then boom.
There it is.
Next thing you know, you're doing a little bit better.
That's right.
They got 3 customizable sound styles too, but now you also get the active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once as well. Raycon's new everyday earbuds are available in a variety of vibrant new colors too. So if you're wanting to check them out, maybe buy a pair for yourself, your kids, grandparents, you're looking for a good gift, hey, check them out. Or maybe you're just trying to give yourself a little something. You just need to check them out right now. There's no better time because, listen to this, you have a 30-day happiness guarantee. There's that.
There it is.
Nothing to lose there. You get 15% off today.
Whopping 15? No, come
on.
on.
It gets better than that. Free shipping. Get free shipping. Go to buyraycon.com/bigvox. 15% off, free shipping. Buyraycon.com/bigvox, BIGVOX. Or you can find a link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors.
I don't know what you're waiting on.
I don't either. I don't need, especially.
I got mine. I wear them daily.
Yeah,
and they're really awesome.
Yeah, if you it might be that you're not trying to exercise. Maybe you maybe you just want something for the yard when you're out doing some landscaping.
I do that
or just for the office. Whatever the case, they're there for you. So go check them out today. All right, so we've hit a number of things, a couple of things, and it's tough to kind of go over college scores that happened 4 days ago because that's old news by now. But we haven't been together. And so I thought that the majority of the SEC schools, besides Georgia and Texas A&M and LSU that were really tested, everybody else just kind of blew everybody away.
Yeah. They were playing the lopsided games.
Yeah.
Auburn, Alabama, both.
It was good to see.
But they took care of business. That's what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get in games like that and you either barely win or get beat.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. It was wild that Oregon kind of struggled a little bit, but sometimes, your first games, you're not really sure. It was good to see. Is it not weird, even though I knew it was going to happen and I saw Coach Sabin on College Game Day, is it not weird to see another coach on the sideline at Alabama?
It is weird.
I mean, DeBoer is great, and boy, they did good, and they look good. But just seeing him talk and stuff, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right, just because that's just what we've known for so long. That Saban's over there.
I know. And I can't remember which commentator made a good point talking about the expectations of following Nick Saban and all that. He goes, well, here's the good thing. He said, it's rare in a position like this when you're taking over for a head coach. Normally they're being fired or they've hung around too long and the cupboard is bare. He said, this is not that case. They're loaded. Yeah. You're getting a job. Yeah, you're following a legend, but you got a lot of talent.
You do.
And that's rare. Most of the time you're rebuilding because somebody, like I said, stayed too long or was losing.
Yeah. And apparently, Saban and DeBoer still have a very good, cordial relationship. I mean, I saw Saban; he was up in the box watching the game, and so I mean that's there for you. Don't they have the field dedication this coming weekend?
They do.
And I feel like DeBoer is embracing that. But to your point, it's not like he's taking over somebody that left in a like being fired. And
because how many times we've seen it, Paterno and even Bobby Bowden, they stayed too long,
right?
And when whoever took over for them, they followed a legend, but they also got to rebuild it. Well, he got pitched the keys to a fine running machine.
He did.
Even though not taken away from him,
right? And even though I didn't realize how many Alabama football players transferred. Man, every time there was a game on that somebody said, now he transferred from Alabama.
That tells you how much talent they still got. But here's the thing about that, and we talked about this, I think, the other week. It's so weird. I don't know any kid. Just about every player that made a play, that so-and-so transferred from here. This one transferred from here. Very rare is it this kid signed with us out of high school. I know they're out there. But it seems like every single play, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
Help me on this. I think it was Ohio State, which, by the way, y'all watch out. Whew, they're good. Did they have a true freshman wide receiver? And I think Auburn did too. That showed out.
Yeah, Auburn did. They had two.
Yeah,
they had two. The kid from Central Phoenix City.
Boy, they're scoring some
Coleman,
points.
And then another one. They're true freshmen.
But you're right. It's rare for somebody to go, well, he was a 4 or 5 star freshman and he's doing well. Normally you hear, well, he transferred from so and so.
I know. Yeah. Of course, Bama's got the kid that should be in high school right now that they moved up a year, and boy, he's fast.
Good night.
Anyway, it's a weird world out there, but you're right. Most of the time when they're talking about it, you don't hear from this high school or from this. It's from whoever.
Yeah. Selfishly, watched Mississippi State. I wanted to see how they look with a new coach and new quarterback, and they did well. And, of course, Ole Miss blew out who they were playing, Tennessee. I mean, Missouri, everybody.
Miami.
Oh, my gracious, Miami
Boy,
looks good. Their quarterback's legit, man.
He is. And he's one that started out not very highly recruited. I saw a little thing on him. He played at these real small colleges and then worked his way to Washington State, I think. But
the way he throws the ball, it looks like he doesn't even have anything in his hand.
I know. What about he doesn't get in a hurry when he's running and he'll start slowing down, step out of bounds?
Yeah, college football will be fun this season, that's for sure. Rick and Bubba join us, Adler as well, right after the main break. Don't go anywhere.
Rick and Bubba.
This is the Rick and Bubba Show. Watch more at blazetv.com/Rick and Bubba.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
It is 6 minutes now past the hour. Hello. Back from a 4-day weekend as the Rick and Bubba Show. Kickoff hour's done. We start with the national anthem. is 7.5 minutes past the hour. Thank you for being with us as a brand new hour is underway. Speedy and the real Greg Burgess knocked out the kickoff hour for you. Eddie Van Adler now joins the team as we go forward. Hello, Tubers. Thanks for being with us today. Eddie Van Adler driving now. So if you've got us on America's boldest radio stations on the Rick and Bubba Radio Network, we welcome you. Maybe you're listening to the TuneIn app. We welcome you if you don't have an affiliate. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, as I mentioned, we welcome you. So there's all the live options. Archive options would include the YouTube channel, also our podcast channel with daily audio archives. Each one of those has a best of hour as well. The YouTube best of hour is available for all Blaze TV subscribers. So whether you're here live or archived, we'll take you any way we can get you as we come back from a long weekend. We're missing one, the silver-tongued one, the man with a golden voice, professional lunch eaters man of the year, the inventor of pizza and a cup, Shakespeare's worst nightmare, and the master of the King's English. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bill Bubba Bussey! Howdy, Bubba.
How about it, Rick Burgess? Couldn't get it right. Couldn't get it right.
Yeah, there it is. Climax Blues Band.
I could heard a little more of that.
Yeah, I thought it was a long version. I thought we had a second round, but it's not for one of those hits of the, what is this one year? Hits of 77.
Yeah, good year.
Good year. 77. Bubba,
We're
welcome
warming
back.
up for the 80s.
Bubba, you came off one short week right into another short week.
Yep.
Short week.
Short
week. It's a short week.
Need it. Short week.
Short week. So, it was funny because I had a guy take issue with me saying, this isn't the fourth quarter, Rick. And I said, well, if you look at the big year enders, the 13th, you throw Thanksgiving, all that in there, if you're trying to put together 3 full months, you won't be able to do it. So, it's I know there's 4 months if you look at the calendar, but there's really only about 3 months worth of shows left. So we're definitely
because the end of it kind of scoots forward.
Yeah, we're definitely in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So here we go, fourth quarter and go. A lot to talk about from the weekend. I know the kickoff hour has already unpacked. I mean, one of the 1,000-pound sisters gives Greg a cameo video, and next thing you know, she's arrested at an animal park.
Shot on
after a camel bite.
Yeah, deals with a camel.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if she got bit. They're not clear, but the law was called. And I don't know why you call the sheriff because a camel bite somebody.
Yeah.
But the sheriff's department was called over a camel bite, and they walked by Amy's car and had a little drug smell about it.
Yeah, I noticed when they first said when they walked by Amy's car an overwaying smell, and I said, I said that doesn't necessarily mean drugs.
No,
I mean,
especially when Tammy's around there with no seat back there laying.
But isn't it interesting that look at her? She just gave Greg a cameo.
And she's looking sharp,
and now she's been arrested for drugs and endangering her kids, and
possibly got bit by a camel. We're not sure.
All started
who got bit
from an animal park going bad.
Nice jail too. I mean, you just don't see marker on the wall like that everywhere.
That's a nice one
for your height.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Usually they have a little better chart.
That's a nice one there. They've been using some of that fancy lettering.
Oh yeah. Painted on the wall.
That cinder block did a little painting.
And Greg, I'm not an expert on the 1,000-pound sisters. Is this one Amy?
This is Amy.
Amy. This is the smaller of the two.
All right.
Oh, well, now Tammy's called her. But Tammy's getting close.
I'm just saying when it started, she was the smaller of the two.
That's a good point.
Have they talked to us about what kind of drugs? Did they just smell, the devil's lettuce?
They didn't.
They said overwhelming smell.
The term was overwhelming. And I'm back to Greg's deal. It seems like if a camel and animal park drive-through bites me, my first people to call are the people that work the zoo or
or
whatever.
even
I don't know what the sheriff is doing.
Yeah, that's why we don't know if it was somebody bitten in her car. We don't know. We just know they walk by and they're like, "Good night." What's that?
Yeah. So we have that one's been covered pretty good. We've got all kinds of sports action from the weekend.
Sports.
We've got. I don't know what happened politically. I didn't pay attention to any of that, but I know that the eating contest yesterday was a dud. It was a blowout.
It wasn't even close.
I mean, a major blowout.
But how they had to do it, which we discussed in the kickoff hour, so they had to eat dry hot dogs.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to soak them.
No dipping.
No
so
dipping.
they ate them in the hot dog form, which is something I was saying we need. If you're going to eat hot dogs, let's eat them like you eat a hot dog. So they ate them in a hot dog form, and he ate 83, which is a world record. So he even said, I may start doing it that way.
Yeah.
I thought, doesn't he need to retire for his gastrointestinal system?
I don't
imagine?
I physically don't see how you can do that.
No.
You know, the clock's
Without
ticking
killing
on
yourself.
how long he's going to live.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what he's probably in his 50s.
But it was not even close.
No.
83 to 67.
And it was
new
as
world
gross,
record
maybe more gross than normal because you were really up close. Because usually it's a wide shot.
More
you got
gross.
You got like 10 people.
I didn't watch it. No.
And so it was worse. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Greg, for watching.
I can't watch
Can't look at that.
But I kind of want to see the highlight of it.
Can't look at that.
Just briefly before breakfast.
I just know that. Let me tell you what. All I know is that Joey Chestnut put to bed any notion that Kobayashi being disbarred it makes his championship.
Tainted.
Tainted.
Yeah. No way.
It does
no
not.
way.
It does not.
It doesn't.
Joey Chestnut is the walking dog.
See, there was a little controversy because he claimed, they had this pregame and all. Of course, I missed it live, so I was watching it, so I had to speed through it. But at one point back when Kobayashi quit competing, it's because he claimed he had an injury, a jaw injury. And Chestnut said he was making it up. So they had a little controversy there.
Okay.
Of course, Kobayashi doesn't speak 1 ounce of English.
Okay.
Well, Kobayashi brings that mystic feeling of the Far East. He does, you don't know everything about him. You can't communicate with him. So you kind of felt like he was had something mysterious about him, and he was going to come back on the scene and make a statement. But he just did not have the jaws to compete.
That's a good
There
one.
you go.
And I will say this.
That's good.
There you go.
I think his was a personal best for him. 67. He
What?
never ate that many.
He's that far off
I
from
think
Joey
so.
Chestnut?
And Joey Chestnut also said, look, I've never got this high because I needed Kobayashi pushing me. And he hadn't been around for years, so once he was here pushing me, then it took me to the top level.
Do you think
Kobayashi shaved his head?
He did. Yeah. He didn't look like he said.
How do you train for that? I mean, because I know, like you with a crap run, Greg, you got to run a 5K.
No,
so
they
you're
do
training.
train. They talked
but how
about
do you expand
they
that? How
ate
do
a
you
lot of
train?
hot dogs. They talked about it.
So sick.
I mean,
it's technique. There's a technique. Chestnut even push. He said he'll push right here, and it pushes the food down his
Bubba.
stomach.
Good gosh.
But
Bubba.
listen, there's an art to it. There is.
But I mean, like, if he's at a family
I don't know
get
how
together,
they do it.
if he's at a family get together, does they go, well, I know we got 10 people here. We need like 40 hot dogs because Joey's coming.
And you know how he once he gets started.
I mean, does he eat 10 like when he's out at a family?
That's a great point.
Like stretch?
Yeah.
Or does he not eat hot dogs at all except for that?
Yeah, how does that work?
Y'all, this is just so hard to. It's just so hard to watch.
Let's-
They're pouring water all over themselves.
Yeah, they're drinking water.
We'll
as
come
they
back.
shove-
We'll
Look
come
here.
back.
Look,
Okay.
way too close up.
Competitive eating.
I'm not watching it.
Look,
Oh,
at
my
one
gracious.
point, y'all, Kobayashi, when kids walk by and you go, "Ooh, we got to do something about that nose." He had that going, and it was rough. The camera had to come off.
Somebody said Kobayashi fans and Florida State fans are all getting together today, saying we thought we were better. We'll be back. More Rick and Bubba next.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
My pleasure, man. Good seeing you guys.
He's headed down to Miami. The new CD is available everywhere. Look for it. And as always, look for Killer Bees coming to a town near you. We'll be right back.
Rick and Bubba.
Go, too. But I want to go to Collegeville.
They've got one where they're actually going to come to Killer Bees' garage, I think. Is that one coming up?
Yeah.
And swing over the moat and come on in.
Yeah,
Well, they have to step past the Ryobi tools.
I've had a lot of people ask. I guess, I don't know if they're available widespread or not.
What, those shirts?
Yeah. John Perry, let me know.
I don't know. Beast, good to see you as always.
My pleasure, man. Good seeing you guys.
He's headed down to Miami. The new CD is available everywhere. Look for it. And as always, look for Killer Bees coming to a town near you. We'll be right back.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
That's a little techno music. Sure, that was just techno. Sure, that CD get hung up. Music has gotten so weird. The CD was stuck, and I thought it was a song.
And you don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a cool little beginning here. Must be the latest from U2. So we make our way back. 877 We Be Big is our number. Bees has got a few more minutes with us. He is about to go check out of his room, catch another plane, head down to Miami, where he'll be appearing tomorrow night. Because you're off tonight, right?
Correct. Be doing 4 days of shows down there. Possibly going in doing some pitching. Don't know. They hadn't told me exactly, but I think
you may pitch for the Marlins.
Yeah, I think my venue dates run Thursday through Sunday as I perform in big old gigantic Miami.
Are they back in Miami tonight?
Yes,
and then
yes.
Then they
and
leave?
have one more.
They do. Oh, so they will play tonight.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right. Only
they
one
play
night.
Thursday as well, don't they?
Yeah, but then they're going back to New York.
Well,
or it could be over.
Who knows? But I suspect the fans there will watch him on TV. You know, I would. If it
you know, I'd get TiVo, come see you live, and then go back and see it.
Do they even have fans? I mean, have you ever run into anybody that said, hey, I'm a Florida Marlins fan?
There is a DJ, a morning on-air personality in Augusta, Georgia, that is a huge Florida Marlins fan.
Really?
As a matter of fact. Was on a show with him a few weeks ago when the playoffs were going on, and he was just had circles around his eyes from being up late night watching the Marlins play.
Yeah, you meet a lot of radio guys, don't you, out and about.
So
and I know you have to work with all of them. We just want to be your favorite. That's all.
Actually, we have a thing here.
Well, y'all are more like me. You know?
Well, thanks.
I mean, that's,
I thought this
yeah, how should we take that?
Good. Well,
kick a man while he's down.
Because y'all aren't uppity and stuff.
Well, no.
You know, that's people ask me about y'all. What are Rick and Bubba like? I go, they're like us. That's what I tell them. They're like us, man. You know, they got kids and they try to do right and that kind of stuff. So,
sure. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
I don't know what I would do on the Howard Stern show. I do not know how I would handle if he brought some floozy in to take her top off or something. You know?
Yeah.
That would be a very uncomfortable situation for me to be in. And there's just
well, to me, what the thing, yeah, Bubba, but that part of it, you know, you would just try to go, okay. But the thing the thing I would have a hard time with is like if Howard started like really dogging me. You know what I mean? And start doing his thing. Wormy little guy that, you know, I mean, you wonder, and I know a lot of you have been traumatized by the Nebraska player punching the fan that was cussing him. You know, what if someday somebody just got up, went over to Howard, and just decked him? You know, right there on the show, said, Howard, how shocking was that for you, Jock? Did that shock you?
Yeah.
Did you see that shocker coming?
And a lot of these cats have a penchant for making fun of Southern accents and people who choose to live in this great part of the country. So, you know.
Oh, listen, we've all been to New York. They've got no room to laugh.
No lie, man. I was in Indianapolis, and I told my wife, Terry, I said, Alabama has no claim to more rednecks than anybody else. Look at these people.
Oh,
I mean,
look, there's people with cars out on blocks in their front yard in every state. You been through Kentucky lately? Come on.
Yeah, well, see, I don't mind low income. That's
no,
not
they got a good
redneck
basketball goal out there.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's your people who don't respect the environment and those around them that I get fed up with, and that's coast to coast, man. That's north and south.
Well, and we've talked about this too. I remember my mom counseling me on this at a young age that your economic condition has nothing to do with character or being neat and clean.
No,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You can take care of that.
There's a difference, like you said, in being.
Yeah,
you know,
well put, Rick.
I mean, some people just sorry, and it don't matter where they live. They all over the world just sorry.
Coast to coast, man.
All right, I've got an update on this Niagara Falls thing, which is pretty.
Is it your goal to traumatize this man?
No. Listen,
has a childhood trauma?
He's been on all the news. They've give his name. We don't have to.
Is this the one that fell when he was small?
Yeah. Yes. I just want him to know that we're not. I mean, everybody's been dragging him up.
Past the hour, Rick and Bubba Show. Thank you for being with us today. Back from a long weekend. You had a best of show. Greg hosted that on Friday. Hope you enjoyed that. Yesterday for Labor Day, a Rick and Bubba replay. So everybody off yesterday. And we're back. We'll get to your phone calls coming up shortly on 866-WE-BE-BIG. So I do want to Bubba and I were discussing this in the break. I don't think there's any need for anybody to panic over the fact that I saw the Reagan movie over the long weekend. I don't think I can give away something that's in history books, right? I mean, how can I ruin a movie that strictly just walks through the history of Reagan's presidency?
You'll find a way. You'll find a way to do it.
It would be like you spoiling the plot on, Tora.
Right. Yeah.
Or something like that. We kind of, when it's history, I
Right.
don't know that you can spoil it.
I don't want to give anything away, but watch the Japanese.
Right.
It's
hey, Rick, where's that fleet going?
Right.
We know history.
Pay attention on the radar.
We know history, but to Adler's point, you will find a way to give certain things away.
Okay.
You just do. It's the Burgess rule.
Let me go ahead and tell all of you that may be somewhere around our age. Bubba's 60. I'll be 60 in October. So our wives are in their 50s. If you would like to feel really young in the theater and be the only people there that does not need assistance, let me tell you the Reagan movie, the handicapped seats, they go quick.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not making this up. So Sherry loves to sit on that not the first row all the way up, but the first row that has the rail. Sherry loves that, but so does everybody who doesn't like to go up steps. The theater was only it was about 3/4 empty. Everybody was sitting on the same row and the handicap spots. That's all that was filled.
And there you are in the middle.
There I was, and it was almost like, man, if they pick up that I can actually walk, I'm gonna have to make the run for everybody at the concession stand.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hey, there's some people. They some old people at that movie. You forget how long ago that was.
They didn't eat snacks.
But if you want to feel young, go see Reagan movie because you'll be young. And
I just want to know, when you walked out, did y'all both look at each other and go, "Now that's a good movie"?
It was a great movie.
Okay, good. That's what I need to know.
It was.
You can stop right there.
It's worth your time. You should go see it. It was really good. And
Good, I'd like to see
I
it.
wondered if I would struggle with Dennis Quaid as Reagan.
Yeah.
But it really worked out fine. He did a good job. He did a good job with it. Now I will tell you this. I think you'll understand this. You think that going to see, and Bubba is going to really struggle with this because of his love of the '80s.
You mean the greatest decade mankind's ever seen?
Correct.
That age.
When you go to see this movie, I know what you're probably thinking because I foolishly thought it. It'll be uplifting, but it can't be because you realize how horrible our country is now. When you watch this, you won't feel good. You'll actually feel horrible that we have just taken all that and thrown it away. And the state of things now, it's going to bother you. It bothered me more than I thought. You've got the sadness of the story of Reagan,
Right.
With Alzheimer's and all
Right.
that. And I hate to tell you this, when they take you to Alzheimer's, have some Kleenex.
Oh,
okay.
no, really?
Okay. And of course, those of us that have been through it.
I thought we were talking about Kobayashi.
Well, we were. Well, I thought
We
please
did that.
can we have we covered that enough? But anyway, so I don't know, Bubba, if you can emotionally take this movie.
Yeah.
But I will tell you it. Do you see where I could get mistaken thinking it would be uplifting, and then all of a sudden I found myself sad,
Right.
because of how far we have fallen, and the fact that what this president did. Certainly not flawless. None of us are. But the things that hearing him talk about the simplicity of the stupidity of certain things that we do and the fact that we do all of them now, it's going to be a little harder on than you expect.
Really?
Yep.
Look, a texter brought up a great point because the younger generation they're not really taught history now and they don't really know history. You could actually spoil the movie for some folks. If they're below a certain age.
Well, I will tell you, I saw one
Sadly.
person. I saw one person try to take their kids to this. They were the only people in there. Listen, I'm not. There's no exaggeration for me right now. Now, of course, we go watch movies when old people go anyway, early in the day. But I saw one attempt to bring small children to it, and I credit that dad. Well done to try to teach them history.
You say small. What do you?
We're talking 10.
Okay.
10, 11
All right.
in there. And
John Voight's in it?
John Voight is in it. Bubba, at no point does he look in the camera and say, Angie, call me.
Right. You always expect that. Angie, call me.
The movie.
Angie.
The movie is...
I know you're out there.
John Voight plays a old Russian spy, and he sits down with a young Russian spy who's crying out what happened to the Soviet Union. And he says, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was assigned to Reagan throughout his whole life.
There he goes.
Here he goes. This is where he's...
I'm just telling you that it's. I think that's an interesting angle.
Spoiler alert.
That a retired Russian spy tells a young Russian, here's who Reagan was, and here's how he took us out.
So is the whole movie basically him telling the story?
Yeah.
From a Russian perspective?
Yeah, I thought that was a nice way to go about it.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah. And Voight does a good job, as you could expect.
This is normally where we get in trouble. About the last minute and a half is when you mess this up.
I'm good.
Spoiler alert.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
good. Continue to talk.
I tell you one thing, we don't waste any time getting started. I mean, right out of the gate.
Hey, see, this is what I'm talking about.
He ready for it.
Did it start with the assassination?
Yeah, sure did. Mm-hmm.
I just guessed. I didn't say
history.
I'm guessing.
Bubba, but that's history.
I just guessed.
It's the timing.
So nobody
of
knows
the
Reagan
movie.
got shot. So nobody knows Reagan got shot.
You just talked about how it starts.
Nobody knows that Reagan got shot.
That's a good one.
Gracious.
Sure.
Surely.
Yeah, you know.
All right, Rick, don't spoil it for everybody, but listen, I have a feeling he's going to win a second term.
Watch it.
That was at the 30-second mark.
I'm just shooting from the hip.
By the way, I will go ahead and warn you about something as well. He is hit a lot worse than everybody knows on that assassination.
Oh, yeah.
But we all know that.
Yeah, we know now.
Sure. But at the time, they thought no biggie, and that turned out to be a biggie. But and you know what I had forgotten is how early in his term he got shot.
Yeah, it was right out
I
of the gate.
didn't
What, in February?
I had moved it to the second term.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wasn't it like in February?
Yeah, it was
like
real
that.
soon, real quick.
Right out of the gate.
Rick
First
will
few
tell
months.
But you'll leave there going, how in the world did we buy into the garbage we bought into now? It'll bother you.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
It'll bother you. I just sat with Sherry and I just sat in the car in silent for a long time.
Wow.
It's tough.
Did he talk a lot about the Strategic Space Defense Initiative?
Oh, yeah.
SDI?
Yeah. We had a little negotiation about that. All right, bottom of the hour, we'll be back.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
Over, and we're interested in the story.
Went over,
but we're not. Since the guy went over, the guy is now 50, and he up till day before yesterday was the only person to ever live after going over the 165-foot fall without protective gear. The story is on July the 9th, 1960, he and his 17-year-old sister were taking a boat ride with a friend of their father when the boat capsized on the Niagara River. The young lady swam close to the shore, and a bystander pulled her from the water, but the driver of the boat and the young man both were carried over the falls. The driver of the boat was killed, but the young man a head wound.
So that would be...
And he's been interviewed a lot about it now, and he's not giving them a ton. It doesn't look like it.
Well, you know me, just like we talked to, Vance the other day who fell from the tree. I want to know, what was it like? What do you remember?
Absolutely. That's just our curiosity.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've had a lot of people come up and ask me about the time I spilled coleslaw on my shoe in first grade when I dropped my plate. And, I was all traumatized by that. To this day, I can't eat anything with it's white.
No.
So it's...
Wow. I was carrying my tray back to the little window in the cafeteria in first grade, and they had big, tall Venetian blinds down one wall, and they had pulled the blinds up, and there was a loop of Venetian blind cord laying there. And my foot went in it, and it snared me like a trap and made me fall with my tray, and all the sixth graders laughed at me. And I have never gotten over that.
That's what made you want to be a comedian. You loved them laughing at you. See, that's what started it.
Or either I had to pretend I did it on purpose or something, but I remember crying and just being so embarrassed.
Was there
because my little ankle and that cord just pulled me up like a...
Was there anything worse as a small child especially first grade, to drop your tray in the lunchroom. That happened to me. I can't believe it went through you.
Oh, it was terrible. And I went down. I mean, this thing tripped me, and I fell and everything.
I'll never forget that lady. We were all scared of our lunchroom lady.
Oh, they
and
were
she
all
was kind of
scared.
mean. And
They had facial
come
hair.
out there and she hands you that, clean it up, you know.
And everybody staring and
I
stuff.
know. I mean, I got a mop. I don't know what to do with it. I needed a shovel. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, what are you going to do with the mop and food laying everywhere?
Everybody pointing out. I remember being terrorized when it got to be lunchtime, thinking, please, God above, don't let me drop this tray.
And you knew
and
everybody
you'd
was
be so
staring
careful
every
somebody
day.
bump into you, go, I'm fixing it.
I know. Then you're tensed up and you can't balance your
I
stuff
know.
with your little meal.
How tight can you hold a lunchroom tray? I mean, you just through there like, I'm going to get it to the table.
Oh, I hated that, and I hated the kid named Bobby that would always mix all his food together.
Oh,
I hated that
There
kid.
was some terrible eating habits in first grade, wasn't it?
Then the teacher would come and go, well, you're going to have to eat it. You go, no.
No, not that.
I just hated you looking for you to see him start mixing it. Come on, man.
I don't think kids do that these days. I don't think they do that same stuff.
The best one we ever had, our lunch.
How did any of us survive first grade, man? It was awful.
Oh, I know.
It'll scar you, too,
Oh,
man. It'll
teacher,
scar
especially if you have an older, see, I had an older teacher in first grade, and she was scary, because old people were scary anyway as a little kid.
Oh.
No
Yeah.
offense, but old people were scary. And you have like an elderly teacher, you know, and your mom would go, the first time your mom dropped you, and that, you couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? You just stand there going, what is going on here? You know, where are you going? Well, I don't know these people. You know what I mean? And then then you go, how can she be this mean?
Yeah, just to walk out of here.
And you have to get the speech. You know, my brother was so horrifying. It was funny because his son did it to him when he started going to school. My brother made such a scene. My dad had to cut a deal with him and said, they will put us in jail if we don't take you here. Okay?
Wow.
And
Well, it's true.
And he cut a deal, and he said, I tell you what, I'll stay here till I learn to read, then I'm out.
Or maybe it's
And look, my dad used to be a panic.
Suspended sentence.
My dad was weighing. He said, I was hoping that your brother, who was just a terrible child, he said, I was hoping that by the time he learned to read, he would be okay with school. We would be in fear that he would learn to read too quick and he would leave.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, every day my dad go, I hope he didn't learn to read today. So,
Man.
but you remember, because, you know.
All kinds of stuff. I was tied to my seat when I was in the second grade by a man with the jump rope with duct tape over my mouth. Don't know why. Guess I was trying to help the other kids with their studies.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Evidently.
I remember I took a ruler to the, cutting up in there and took a ruler one time. Wow! I mean, nowadays, there'd be a lawsuit over it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I remember our teacher used to say if she couldn't find a witness, remember the witness thing?
Yeah.
Had to have a witness. If she couldn't find a witness, she'd just say, y'all the witness, watch this. Wow!
Wham!
Wow! Somebody right in front of the class. I got paddled right in front of everybody. And it used to be like 5 licks.
You know,
I
to
mean,
this
you know what I
day,
mean?
coleslaw gives me cold.
There it is, 35 minutes past the hour. Thanks for being with us today. SimplySafe.com/bigbox. Thanks for being with us. There is no safe like Simply Safe. They are the best in the business. U.S. News and World Report for 5 years in a row have named them the best security system available, and they just picked up another award, Best Customer Service as well. Now, when we've talked to you about a new system, we've always had an opportunity to get you some savings, but I want you to listen. Don't tune me out if you're thinking, well, he's going to talk about that. No, there's an update on the commercial. You ready? Update. Now we're talking about 50% off and a free indoor security camera too when you order. So with exclusive LiveGuard technology, Simply Safe's 24/7 monitoring agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm, even speak to intruders, warning them that the police are on the way. No long-term contracts or hidden fees. This level of security is going to earn your trust every day by keeping you safe, satisfied, and never locked in. I said that again. Right now, if you want to have peace of mind like the countless listeners we have that have already gone with Simply Safe, you go now to simplysafe.com/bigbox and save 50% on a new system and get a free indoor security camera. Yes, do it now. This is not going to last long. Also, you can just go to the link if you want to at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. So, Bubba, we're looking at our TVs here, and one of our TVs would normally have one of Disney's products, ESPN, on it.
Da-na-na.
It does not today because we are reading our contract with Disney. The owner of this channel has expired. So, here at the old Big Boy studio, we have DirecTV. I notice it says Uverse off there. Do we have Uverse too?
They're together. DirecTV and
now?
Uverse. Yeah,
I don't know because I'm not in that.
Yeah,
world.
they're both AT&T.
AT&T bought Uverse.
Yeah, so I know there's a big strike with AT&T, so they got their hands full right now. AT&T's got a lot going on.
Or they bought DirecTV. Y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
So this is that typical thing, whether you have cable or you have satellite or whatever, where the big dogs say, we don't like our contract. We don't think you're paying enough for our channels. So we're going to, especially right when football season comes back, we're going to pull the contract and say we don't like it. It's expired, and we don't want to do what we've done in the past.
How does it feel to be held hostage right at the beginning of football season? That is not by accident.
No.
That is not by accident.
They did it last year with Starlight or one of the cable companies.
Yeah.
Same timing.
I think Spectrum. They got Spectrum.
Maybe it was Spectrum.
Yeah, I think
That's
they
who
got
it was.
Spectrum.
It was
yeah.
Spectrum.
Now,
Rick, you know why we know, because Mom was affected by it.
Yes, she was.
Messed with her football game.
Yes, she was. Watched a lot of football with Mom Saturday.
She loves it.
Yep.
Now, Walt Disney networks, including ESPN and ABC, were removed from DirecTV after negotiations between the satellite company and the media giant collapsed on Sunday. The blackout impacts about 11 million customer homes. Making matters even worse for DirecTV subscribers was that the blackout began immediately before USC's highly anticipated win over LSU on Sunday night, which means you didn't get to see Brian Kelly mad after the match, after the game.
Real mad.
And also, ESPN is carrying the ongoing U.S. Open from Queens, New York this week. In the aftermath of the blackout, both DirecTV and ESPN blamed each other for the fiasco,
of course,
as normal.
Of course.
Listen, but and we're seeing it right here. They blocked the ABC, but ours isn't. Our DirecTV.
Yeah.
All the ESPN channels are blocked, but see, looking at it right now, 3340, that's the ABC, but it's still working. And I actually got to watch the game because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched the game as well because our ABC affiliate was not affected, but I guess some.
I don't know how
maybe.
that works.
I don't either.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah,
but the game was on.
Yeah,
and it's still. We're looking at it right here. You see, we're blocked here, but there's our ABC right there.
All right, a good one on the text line. As a Florida State fan, I'm thinking of going back to DirecTV, so I can't watch any games.
That is funny. Golly, that's funny.
That's a good one.
That's the line of the day.
You knew, Rick. It seems like every time some school, some team makes a big deal about being left out of the playoffs.
Sure.
They immediately turn upside down, start taking water.
How
on,
you like that?
Yeah.
Well, apparently,
and I know it's not the same team.
It's
I know
not,
that,
especially in today's world.
I know, and but it just seems so many times you see that happen.
Yeah. So that is, you're right. It's not the same team, and maybe the people who are not on the team, maybe they made a big difference. Apparently.
You know, me and Speedy were talking earlier, when you're watching the games, you know, used to so-and-so from wherever he was from, but now everybody has transferred from so-and-so. That's how they identify everybody.
They do.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, I mean, did anybody stay with their original team from last year? It doesn't look like
I don't think so. I like those that left and have come back to the team they left from.
Right.
Well, I like the ones that are on their fourth team.
Well, Rick, that may not be the strangest thing over the weekend I saw. We were watching games. Of course, Auburn and Alabama both had, you know, teams that they had paid to come, and they were going to spank them pretty good.
Boy, did they.
And you know, I feel like when you pay a team to come and be spanked, you need to give them their money's worth.
Oh, yeah, sure,
and both of them got it pretty good here in our state.
Yes,
and,
they did. Yes, they did.
But one of the strangest things, and y'all tell me because I'd never heard of this, the announcer said when they started the second half, due to this game being out of reach, we're going to play 10-minute quarters in the second half. And I thought I heard that, and I looked at Hunter. I said, run that back, because I've never in my life heard Division I football shortening the quarters.
Going a hot clock?
I've heard high school.
Yeah, I mean, that's
obviously Little League.
That's something you do in Little League.
Yeah,
you know,
but they'll do it in high school, too.
But they shortened the clock. They started with 10 minutes left to go, and I thought, this is really
I've never heard
bizarre.
that. I'm sure both teams have to agree to it, and I'm sure they had no problem agreeing.
No.
That was the Auburn-Alabama A&M game. I don't think Alabama shortened their game. But I'd never heard. I didn't even know you could do that. That was even an option.
I've never heard.
Not
of
at that level. No.
But you know what? I will say this: when you play those warm up teams, you need to go ahead and stretch your legs on it. Don't let it be close.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and a lot of times they are. A lot of times they'll slip in there and beat you. And
Yeah,
you're like, wow.
yeah. You got to watch that. But in those two cases, but man, there were some good games.
There were.
Over the weekend. Of course, Georgia. Wow.
Or Georgia.
Clemson.
Georgia.
Let me tell you,
Clemson hung in there about a half.
Yeah.
I know
Georgia.
I know Dabo's made a big stance about not doing the transfer portal. He wanted to home grow everybody. He might be rethinking that policy here soon.
Them Georgia Bulldogs, they got a lot of players.
They do.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see who Clemson, how they look against the next opponent. That may not be fair.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's a little early. It's
early. Very early.
Or good 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
So that was a great game. LSU, Texas A&M, right? No, Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
Right.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M was a good game. LSU and USC, as we just mentioned, was a good game.
Now, you talking about who looks a lot better than I imagined is Miami.
Yes.
My goodness.
Miami's got a quarterback, and
Yes,
they got some players.
Yeah, and congratulations.
And they were highly. People thought it was kind of like you had Florida State was hyped, and Miami was hyped.
Right.
Miami's.
They living up to the hype.
Yeah,
they are. They are.
I mean,
and congratulations to Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech. I mean, Virginia Tech comes in ranked, and Vanderbilt has no chance. And Vanderbilt played well. Their new quarterback is scrappy, man.
So let me get this right. Vanderbilt is 2-0. Florida State is 0-2.
2-0.
I don't know if Vandy's 2-0. I know they beat.
Vandy's already played.
They're playing week 0.
Did they play in week 0?
Oh, they may have. I don't know.
I thought they
But
did.
what's funny, y'all, and I know y'all know this. So the quarterback is the guy that beat Auburn last year in New Mexico, and their head coach is the offensive coordinator. You know, the guy that passes out all the time.
Yeah.
Remember that used to be at Minnesota.
Yeah.
So he left and brought in that quarterback, scrappy man.
He was I didn't see that quarterback when New Mexico State upset Auburn. Was it last year?
Yeah.
But I saw him play Saturday because I was watching how that game was going to end. But he is scrappy.
Yeah, and he's not the most athletic looking guy.
He's hard to bring down though. Let me tell you, he'll put the game on his shoulders, and I like that.
Yeah. That was Vanderbilt's first game.
Auburn couldn't stop him last year.
Yeah.
Auburn couldn't stop him last year at New Mexico State.
No. Virginia Tech couldn't stop him either.
Hey, Virginia Tech, listen. I can't tell you how many people on the panel. I gave my sleeper, Virginia Tech. I heard that many when they were doing it. How you sleeper? Well, your sleeper got spanked. Of course,
they got put to sleep.
It's fine. You got the rest of the year. You know, we got 12 teams. They can turn it around. You know.
So, I love how that was what everybody was saying about Florida State after getting beat by Georgia Tech. Hey, that's fine. They got the rest of the year, and then they get beat by Boston.
And you're like,
bless
okay, maybe not fine.
I don't know, y'all. I could just feel that. I could feel that second loss coming. I don't know what it was. It just I just had a feeling, and I didn't watch it. I was like, I have a feeling when I look at that score, I'm going to see that BC beat them.
I couldn't watch it, but
because it's blacked out.
What was Vandy running?
It's like that spread stuff everybody runs.
I'll tell you what they ran most time, quarterback.
Yeah, he ran.
He's off and running.
Quarterback scramble right, quarterback scramble left.
Everybody's single back now. You know?
Yeah.
But he's that guy that pressuring him sometimes the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
And he don't even look fast. It's like he's just moving. You know what I'm saying? He don't even look.
Kind of hard to bring down too. He'll break a tackle. He'll break a tackle. We'll be back 15 minutes to the top of the hour. More Rick and Bubba coming up next.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
Chills, man. I just cannot.
see-through I don't like, by the way. I don't like sour cream or mayonnaise.
I don't either.
You know, and they'll be different.
Is all that tied to lunchroom tragedy?
I'm not sure. It may be, man. And I know there's some foods that don't have mayonnaise. I'll go, yeah, but it looked like there may be mayonnaise in its ancestry.
Yes.
So therefore I won't eat
and
it.
And if I bite into a sandwich of mayonnaise or something, meal over.
I could be,
done.
3 days in the tundra with no food, and somebody could hand me a Whopper from your local Burger King with mayonnaise on it, and I wouldn't eat it. No way. No way.
How about this?
I'd rather digest stomach lining.
Come on, I'm starving.
Starving.
I would even eat English peas if I was starving. Which is the most
little
evil
green
food
English
there is.
peas. Oh, man.
That is an evil, satanic food.
Yes, and you can't even digest them mixed in mashed potatoes.
English peas.
Did you like them when you were little, though?
No,
never did.
And you know what kills me? You go to a nice, like a Japanese steakhouse, and they got them in the rice, and that just drives me crazy.
I love fried rice that doesn't have a lot of them peas
out here on the grill.
Yeah,
you know,
and of course Bobby would always get the English peas and try to get them up through a straw. Remember that? And he'd have them just stacked all the way in there. God, what a gross kid!
When I was little, my mom loved English peas, and I would always try to hide them up under the mashed potatoes like I'd eaten them.
Yes.
And she would always bust me. You know, I mean, she'd be cleaning up. Hey, Calvin, you didn't eat. Come back in here, and I'd be the only one, and they were like a little night light on. It'd be like 8 o'clock, and I'd still be in there eating. You know,
green beans.
The other about 2 weeks ago, and I hadn't eaten any since Terry. I come home, it's been a long day. Terry cooked English peas.
Right.
Okay.
You're talking about you hadn't eaten.
You want
since
to back
you got
up on
married.
that?
So I scoot up to the table and I look down and there it is. It's like they could talk to me. Hey, you remember me? You know?
Hey, old friend.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Hey, buddy.
And
remember us?
And I had to sit there and not say a word and just eat every bit of it.
No.
It was awful.
You're a grown man now. Couldn't you just say, I'm not eating that?
Well, no. I had to be an example to my 2 sons. I had to eat, the whole plate. Because I'm telling them they got to eat it. I got to, too.
Can I tell you something? I've never understood this thing of making people eat food they don't like. I mean, I know you got to have a nutrition and all that, but I'm talking about if a kid has tried it and they go, that makes me sick, I'm about to throw up.
Swing them over to something else. Maybe not those three.
As adults, we don't have to eat what we don't like.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
So an active week coming up, a short week, as you can imagine. So we're looking back over the weekend. Do want to let you know some things going on this week. Let's look at rickandbubba.com. This Sunday night, I'll be in Alabama City. Bubba and I have quite a history up in the Gadsden, Alabama area. I'll be at the Church of God there, Alabama City Church of God, speaking there Sunday night. It is free. but they do want to know that you're coming. I guess kind of planning for how many people are coming. So if you'll go to their website, we have that linked at rickandbubba.com. Just let them know you are coming. It starts 6 p.m. This Sunday night. Now, at themanchurch.com, we go to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky this weekend. Rich Wingo will be there. Sand Spring Baptist Church, it'll be a man church on Saturday night, and then Rich Wingo will also bring the message there on Sunday morning. So find that at themanchurch.com. Those two are going on this week. So, Bubba, we had some clips from the weekend. I know you were probably like me. I don't know how many times I was sent the clip of Sabin doing the pregame festivities, that footage of him looking at Pat McAfee as Pat McAfee does some stupid dance, and Sabin is just looking like he could just so you see.
He wants to be away from him, doesn't he?
He can't believe it.
He didn't know Mac was going to rip his shirt off later.
Yeah. He's just looking like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here with this idiot? And so I'm not the only one. That's it. Yeah.
So many memes.
Yeah. People have had a blast with that. One of them was saying, a mega church pastor sits next to traditional church pastor. There's 1,000 of them out there. Youth pastor sits next to the executive pastor. I've seen a bunch of those.
Oldest sibling, youngest sibling.
Right. Yeah.
Sabin had a little bit of fun too.
He sure did. How you going to edit this one?
How are you going to edit this?
We could just hear his first part of the statement.
He cusses like, is this his debut?
He just forget where?
No, he was in Dublin.
Was he in Dublin?
Yeah. I guess this is week 2 for him, but
okay.
I just want to say, you guys keep talking about a $20 million roster.
Yeah.
If you don't pay the right guys.
Yep. You don't pay the right guys.
He says SOL.
Now bring it back up. Yeah, we got it.
That's life, baby. That's life. Congratulations. You just broke the internet.
That's funny.
That's great.
Yeah, he makes a good point. You can write all the checks you want to, but you better be writing them to the right people.
So they have been on Coach Sabin about the payroll at Alabama, so it was a nice twist on it.
Yeah, well, he's right. I mean, you're now getting into being professional football. Don't write a check to the wrong person.
Yeah.
$20 million doesn't mean anything if you ain't got the right players.
You can't score.
Yeah.
He ended the broadcast with a pretty funny statement. I'm sure y'all heard it.
Is that?
He
came out with the Notre Dame mascot trying to dance, and
I thought he was going to fall.
Yeah, it was Rick. It's bad. It's almost elder abuse.
I also saw one. One clip this weekend where he looks at Kirk Herbstreit and says, "I got to pee," and he just leaves.
No, he's supposed to be getting dressed.
He's
up
supposed to be getting dressed up, but he whispered, "I got Miami," or something like that. But he had to leave the set.
Okay,
and
he had to go put this on.
There's about 20 people at the counter, which I know bothers Greg. But once you add everybody there, Sabin had a difficult time when the lead was. Coach Corso was trying to talk. He's trying to make a sentence.
I don't know why we're doing this.
There was a little bit of struggle there.
I don't understand.
Yeah, this is him at the end here.
What you got here, Dick? I never knew any of this. I never experienced it.
Don't miss Pat
This is so much fun. I never got to do any of this. Sorry, that audio was terrible.
Okay, so Sabin right now, when Pat McAfee's now hugging him shirtless,
getting green paint all over his blazer.
There's got to just be a moment where he's thinking, "I got a long season ahead."
Yeah,
this is
a long one, kid.
Yeah, this is.
Yes, sir.
He did seem like he had a little. Maybe he had fun. He said he had fun. He's like, I never got to do any of this stuff.
Right.
This is great.
Well,
I think he would like his fun to be just a little bit less Pat. Just a little.
Sure.
Just,
like we've said.
Put me down on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have to sit right next to him?
You know they did it on purpose.
Yes.
Pat McAfee is like a tattoo. Less is more.
Yeah, sure.
Look, if Johnny Manziel is your guest picker,
yeah,
and he's more somber than Pat. I mean,
that's a good point.
He was a little bit more chill than Pat was.
More professional than Pat. Yes, he was.
By the way, Brian Kelly, and he doesn't cuss or swear or anything in this clip that everybody's been looking at from LSU, but his frustration is so real, and we've all felt the way he feels. He just like, this is the same thing I keep trying to correct where we don't finish, and it really bothers him, and I can feel the frustration. I mean,
do we have it where he's pounding the podium?
This is it right here. But
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over. And I'm so angry about it that I got to do something about it. I'm not doing a good enough job as a coach. And I got to coach him better because it's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous.
Watch the pound again, and this is so real.
Oh,
it's
feel
just so real. He can't believe that they didn't finish again. He can't believe it.
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about
so
the
mad.
same things.
It's so mad.
That was his gosh darn.
And you know what
how he got through that without a cuss? I have to commend him.
Yeah, that was good.
When they settled for a field goal late, that flew all over him. They should have put it down.
It did. Of course it did. You know why? Because we're sitting here talking about these same things again.
Evidently, we're
So I did not see that game. I was trying to watch it from a distance at a restaurant, and I only caught bits and pieces of it. But apparently, right down at the end of the game, a targeting call made a big difference.
I wasn't. I'm like you. I saw bits and pieces of the game.
They were driving anyway.
They were in field goal.
Yeah, that stacked 15 on it for sure.
Help.
It didn't help, but that wasn't.
And it seemed to be a legitimate.
Oh, it was. It was.
Too, right?
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but the good news is with the 12-team playoff, some of the better teams that were in good games, I mean, they still have a chance to get where they want to get. Now, then there were some teams you kind of look and go, all right, we're not as good as we thought we were, and we're in a bind.
Yep.
Now we're chasing, like Florida State. 0-2 is that's
tough.
That is, especially when you're all hyped.
Yeah.
And
now you really need to win all of your games from this point forward.
Right,
That's hard.
Yeah, that was
just to have a fair season. In
So
your
now
mind.
the big game this weekend, Texas and Michigan. That Texas is at Michigan. That this will be a good one.
Oh yeah, that should be good. I know Michigan won. That was the first win where I'm the head coach, and I'm not just here because they've run Harbaugh off.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's my team now. And
well, his experience. He had to fill in for Harbaugh a lot of games last year.
That's not an inexperienced head coach. You can't say that.
Seems like old times.
Yeah, you just won a national championship.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, we'll come back. So there's kind of a 30,000-foot look at the college games over the weekend. More to cover today. We'll get some of your phone calls in, too, at 866-WE-BE-BIG. We're seeing your texts coming in at 866-932-3244. More Rick and Bubba coming up right after this.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
All right, so we've been talking about our friends at Covenant Eyes on the show, and we talked about their software and the importance of accountability and protecting yourself and your marriage and members of your family from the effects of the evils of pornography. I mean, we're all getting bombarded with this stuff. They're after you. They're looking everywhere you look. They're trying to pull you into this world. But now the Covenant Eyes podcast has been added as another great resource. Now, this show's dedicated to helping you unpack the positive and negative sides of technology. I mean, technology in and of itself can be a blessing, and how do we as Christians redeem it for good? Well, that's kind of what the podcast focuses on, with the leading tech experts, Christian thought leaders, pastors, therapists. They dive deep into topics on the effects of tech on our children, pornography, ethical questions for Christians around technology, AI. What do we do with this? In this digital age, it's filled with endless temptations and distractions. This podcast can help you navigate this from a faith standpoint in God-honoring ways. So if you want to get the podcast, you can pick it up wherever you get podcasts, or you can just go to covenanteyes.com, covenanteyes.com. And, of course, you can always try their software for free for 30 days with the promo code RICK at checkout. off into looking back at. McKee, who's the director of marketing. He'll be here with us later for the Richard Petty driving experience. Richard was...
he will be here?
Yeah.
Chris is coming by.
Supposed to stop by.
Oh, good.
We thought there was a chance that Richard Petty would call us today. That is still a chance, but it's remote because of, which is more important, and Richard needs to take care of family matters. They're doing a memorial service in New Hampshire today for his grandson that was lost, Adam Petty, so that's perfectly understandable that he might not have time to call us today, but want to thank him, because I know that he's still very much involved in what goes on with the Richard Petty driving experience, and for us to get the nod to do this promotion. Rick Humphrey and Grant Lynch made it happen at the Talladega Super Speedway. Our thanks to them. Frida Pierce and her agency, of course, handles the advertising for them, and she did an incredible job contacting all the winners, making sure that you were where you were supposed to be. It seemed to go off to me without a hitch yesterday as far as all the listeners.
As far as we know.
Listeners and viewers from everywhere. They were from all over the country.
Kentucky, Atlanta.
Yeah.
I've met folks from
Laurel,
all over the place.
Mississippi, and down into the Gulf Coast, and as far away as, like you said, Western Kentucky. And so I just want to thank all of them for coming. I will say this, as Bubba just said, props to the show. They had us in different teams, and the team that had the most members of the show won the overall speed yesterday, and that was the Team 1, which included our very own Bubba, Speedy, and Don Juan. And, I was, when you look at how we all set, I'm going to tell you something that might surprise you based on the personalities on this show.
How about I wish I had everybody's name on our team, and I don't have it. So can y'all call us or email us?
I saw
we get a shot of
something written down.
The winning team there.
There they are. The winning team is right there.
Boy, not a good-looking bunch.
That is. And it had the most members of the show, so I also take pride in that. I'll tell you, you may be a little bit surprised when you look at how the speeds were ranked. The fastest lap that was turned on our show was webmaster and lead guitarist Ryan Greenwood. Ryan Greenwood turned a lap at 164.05 miles per hour, and that was the fastest lap of our bunch. Speedy was second with 162.91. Greg Burgess third. We'll tell you the Greg Burgess story. Greg was the only member of the entire day who nearly passed his instructor, and they got together. So Greg was 161.88. I was next at 159.32. Bubba and I were just within tenths. He was next at 159.17. Don won at 159.02. So you see, all of us were pretty much within each other. And I know there's been a little bit between Ryan, Speedy, and Greg because I 7 minutes past the hour. That's how it's done, young Broderick. A brand new hour. Here we go. Speedy, Greg, Burgess, Adler, all here today. From the Big Boy Studios, out on the bleeding edge of technology, we come to you from Sweet Home, Alabama, to the world, live and archived on every piece of technology you could possibly imagine. Welcome back, Bill Bubba Bussey.
Rick, glad to be here. Thank all of you for joining us. It is the party we call Rick and Bubba.
Short week.
Short week.
We did 2 short weeks back to back. So we're with you all coming off a 4-day weekend. Hope a lot of you had a great weekend. We have covered Kobayashi against Joey Chestnut. And yes, we are aware that a 1,000-pound sister was bitten by a camel and then arrested for drugs in the vehicle.
Yes, stand by, yet to come.
We're aware of that. Some people are suggesting, but now she lost some weight, that the camel actually thought it was another camel. Now that, but I don't.
All right.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying some people were suggesting that. We talked a little college football. We'll get some of your phone calls coming up next segment. But Bubba, you said, I know you love Mascot humor.
Oh, Rick,
Video
one
8,
of my favorites.
Video 8, Adler. And you said that now when we say Smokey, we're not talking about the actual dog, because now that would have been a story. the actual
the mascot.
Were you talking about the person that dresses up as a dog?
Yeah. You got to stay with it till the end.
With Tennessee, so the mascot is going to do a dance making fun of Reagan.
Yeah, this is Reagan Smokey.
Okay, all right.
You see on the CG.
Oh, I see.
Here we go.
Okay.
Reagan starting the conversation.
Oh, has a sweatsuit on, kind of thing. Yeah, just like Reagan.
With the stripes on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Reagan. Oh, wow.
I'll be honest, Reagan Smokey is actually better than the original Reagan.
I was going to say, pretty good.
We'll probably get at least a point.
That's funny. Yeah. Wow, Reagan. Smokey, whoever's...
Smokey's pretty agile.
Smokey is pretty agile.
That's hard to do with a big mascot head.
Here comes again, Reagan
Smokey head.
There's more?
What in the world?
The official CG name up there.
Reagan Smokey. So that by the way, that was really good. So who did Tennessee play?
Oh,
they beat the snot out of somebody.
Was it
somebody?
It was another team that they had no business playing.
I don't know who it was.
You know, I know you have
Chattanooga.
a lot of these warm-up kind of games, but it seemed like there was a large number of them were just completely out of proportion.
Wow, 3-69 was the Tennessee.
Did you get backward like that? So you're one of those.
That's how you read it.
69-3.
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. Also, we have
saw what you did there, buddy.
Yeah, we have some other stuff too. Now I know there were a lot of insane catches. I know USC
insane
had a great catch.
Boy, he did.
But you have one here. This is Robert Morris, 11B. There were a lot of great catches over the weekend. This one I did not see in the Utah State game. I did not see this.
Missed Utah State.
Wow. There was a lot of a lot of one-handed catches over the.
Are we doing this on purpose?
Well, maybe, I don't know, but it's also, they said that Oklahoma started a new tradition over the weekend. You know, Toby Keith went on in, and now they're going to start every fourth quarter with a Toby Keith song.
Yeah, and I don't know if this will get us in trouble or not, but just the atmosphere and then playing this song, and then the whole stadium is singing it.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, so
and then as it moves on, it starts to build, and they really get into it. But
right, yeah. So it's there's nothing in it like some of the other things. People are talking about how taking kids to college games now. There's so many chants that seem to be including the F-bomb now. They're like, we used to think taking our family to a college game was going to some sort of family atmosphere, but that's.
Let's just stick with nuts and bolts. You know, that's probably the line.
Right.
You know, that one. Nuts and bolts, nuts and bolts. I don't know. Okay,
I don't know that.
That's when you get a bad call.
Yeah, we got a bad call. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Let's keep it PG, guys.
I'm not familiar with that one. But it was, and then Mike Gundy. You know, Gundy, he's been around for a while.
And
think how long ago this was.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
How old is he slightly now? Different hair look.
Yeah, and how old is he now?
How old is he now?
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm 50-something.
He's 57 years old.
Wow, that's 17.
I'm 57.
Wow. So
Come after me.
17
No
years
mullet anymore?
It's kind of it's almost like a perm on.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
What
with
is
it.
he doing?
I don't know. It's like not long enough in the back to be a mullet, really.
So,
no, it's not.
So the college game. How long have they been doing the helmet communications in college?
Just started this year.
Just this year.
I saw some people struggling with it already.
Yeah, the crowds are too loud.
So Gundy's going to be asked about the new helmet communications in college. Here we go. Wow, the hair! I wasn't ready for that.
I got the perm.
They won't let me hear it. If anybody's a good IT guy, we get the guy from Michigan down here and let him hook me up. Even though he didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
What was that song? What was that song? You should know. Yeah, the song. It was kind of a partial rap in the shower. It caught me. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Shaggy. That's Shaggy.
What was it?
It wasn't me.
Yeah. It wasn't me. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't me.
Wow, he took a shot.
Yeah.
And with this
Take a
hair,
little shot. I don't know what that new look is.
Can he not have regular hair? Can he not just have regular hair?
I guess not.
I mean,
He's a man.
It almost looks like that.
Come after him.
It almost
yeah.
It almost looks like it's a wig.
It does.
It really
it's
does.
not, but it does.
Our Greg, he's now leading the Gatlin brothers.
I know. Yes.
I thought the mullet look was a good look for him.
Yeah, where are the bangs?
What happened, man?
Yeah, that one. I don't know what that is. I think in lieu of the mullet versus that, I think I go back to the mullet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's all about.
He could take that off and it could be one of those helmet pads.
Right. And it goes on the outside.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It does look like
that is very
He's wearing a helmet pad.
He really is. That's what it is. He don't want a concussion.
Yeah. Just in case
he falls.
He's a man, though.
All right, we'll come back. We'll take your phone calls next at 866-WE-BE-BIG. So we'll find out what's on your mind. You can speak to the things we've already discussed, bring up new topics. It belongs to you. We haven't chatted with you in 4 days, so we've missed you. 866-WE-BE-BIG. More Rick and Bubba coming up with phone calls right after this.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
In just a few, we'll give them props. They stayed as close to their instructor as they could get without being waved off. So all of them really did well. And Bubba and I did toward the latter part. I'm going to tell you, when I first started, I was so freaked out. I wasn't anywhere near him.
Well, Rick, I'm going to tell you what. It was scary when you go out there.
It was. It was a little scary.
This is funny, too. Rick Humphrey and Grant Lynch, who we have a great relationship with, are great guys. And, we were like, I expected them to say, oh, this is fun. You're really going to enjoy it. And I go, well, Grant, how was it? Well, we have never done it. And I was like,
Well, yeah, y'all run this track and y'all never done it? No, never have got around to it.
And Rick Humphrey's like, no, I'm not sitting in a race car and driving 150, 60 miles an hour. And I go, well, why, Rick?
Yeah. How come, man?
Yeah. Is there something I need to know there, buddy?
All right, when we come back, should we get on into it, or should we? Because we can talk about, I guess, what was the should we go ahead and get into it?
Look, I'm going to tell you, on the way home last night, Rick, it's that feeling that you haven't had. I just felt like I needed to call somebody or get out on the highway and scream. And those of you who have done this know what we're talking about. If you haven't, and you have anybody who is remotely interested in NASCAR or just enjoys driving on the interstate, maybe a little hot, you need to try this out, because how about on the way home last night, I thought I was in park.
Oh, I did too. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to try to make this like we did for a while with the cruises, like we do with Fat Fest. We have talked to the Richard Petty driving experience. We would like for this to be a giveaway we do every year.
Oh, absolutely. And if we can let some other folks do this, it will make their day. I'm anxious to hear from some of the people who did it today, if they enjoyed it as much as we did.
1-800-BE-PETTY if you would like to talk to the folks at the Richard Petty Driving Experience about booking your own, or you can go to their website, which is 1-800-BPETTY.com. 1-800-BPETTY. If you can do this, you need to. And also, we get the call from yesterday's show that the Mayfield cow is traveling on 459 today in the Birmingham area, if you're looking for the giant Mayfield cow. We'll come back. Tim Wilson will join us later in the program, too.
Tim.
What was it like for the Rick and Bubba family to go and experience the Richard Petty driving experience? We'll show you the video for those you see it on TV. You'll hear audio on radio, and look at the website for pictures.
Bubba, Rick and Bubba. The Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
We're back. 17 minutes past the hour, the Rick and Bubba Show. Chris McKee now joins us, the director of marketing for the Richard Petty driving experience. Chris, we've been saying it all morning. I hope you've heard it on the drive-in, and we just want to thank you and the folks at Talladega Superspeedway for putting this incredible promotion together for our listeners. And the fact when you guys says, you know, when it first was brought up, I thought, well, they're going to let maybe 5 people win and come out and do this. And you had, how many do we have?
You had 30 people driving, then you had 65 people ride. So almost 100 folks. That's a big track.
Yeah, it is.
And you guys are big, so let's make a big promotion.
Yeah, and so you made a lot of people that came from all over the country, and we were there.
Missouri, met a guy from Missouri yesterday.
Yeah, so
a lot of people from Nashville.
Yeah, so it was a big day. We have talked this morning that, you know, you were looking at the pictures of us when we were fortunate enough to be the Grand Marshals there at Talladega Superspeedway. Yes, that was an honor and a thrill, but from a thrilling standpoint, and again, I'm
Rick, what you mean is from being scared beyond able to breathe or have any other bodily functions.
Well, one of our listeners or viewers, or both, came out of his car and screamed, "That's the most fun I've ever had with my clothes on." And I'm going to have to tell you.
I hear that a lot.
I want to tell you, that's about right.
Yeah.
There's the phone troll music. You can join us. The real Greg Burgess is taking phone calls now. All 10 lines are available. Time for you to make a comment, to ask a question, to bring information to the table. 866-WE-BE-BIG is the number. No meaningless shout-outs, no shameless plugs, nothing like that. This is designed for you to make comments, ask questions, or bring information to the table. And the good news about the buzzer, at the end of 30 seconds, your time will be done, and then we'll move to the next caller. So not only can we get more people in, and we're 10 lines ablazing, but once you're in, you don't have to stand in line very long because the buzzer keeps them moving. Now, Speedy has a timeout, so does Bubba, and they can expand on a call if they deem necessary. So as you're calling in, looking at some things that are going on this week. We're talking Rick and Bubba University, the podcast Thursday. We're waiting on a return. We actually had a guest cancel that we've had to move to next week. We may do letters from the audience, but we got another guest that can be with us. If they can't, if you want to go ahead and start sending some of those, you can, because, I mean, we're recording that thing day after tomorrow. So you can send those to speedy@rickandbubba.com because we did take last week off on Rick and Bubba University, the podcast, and we will have one this week either